بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرض اللهم أخرجني من ظلمات الوهم وأكرمني بنور الفهم اللهم افتح علينا أبواب رحمتك وانشر علينا خزائن علومك برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. We start new section of the book, inshallah, and according to the edition that I have is page 185. The title is تحدید المنهج في الادله والاصول. We want to define our manhaj. Manhaj means attitude, our basically policy with respect to al-adilla and usul. As you remember, in the past we said we have sometimes cases in which we apply some rules, some references in order to understand the real hukm. These are called al-adillatul muhraza, those resources that help us to discover what is the ruling. But sometimes we are in doubt about the ruling. We don't have sufficient, adequate reasons and resources or evidence to understand the ruling. But we know that in Sharia, for every situation, there is a guidance. So even for those who don't know what is al-hukm al-waqi'i, the real ruling, then we have another set of guidelines, which we call them al-usul al-amaliyya, practical principles. So, Ayatollah Sa'd starts with this. He says, عرفنا سابقا أن الأدلة التي يستند إليها الفقيه في استدلاله الفقهي واستنباطه للحكم الشرعي على قسمين. We knew before that those reasons, those resources that the jurist refer to and rely on in his jurisprudential reasoning and understanding religious ruling are two. فهي إما أدلة محرزة يطلب بها كشف الواقع. Either they are adilla which are muhraza. Muhraza comes from ihraz. Ihraz means to secure, to protect, to gain. So he calls them adilla muhraza because the faqih tries to understand with their help al-waqi. يطلب الفقيه بها كشف الواقع أو يطلب بها كشف الواقع. Faqih wants to discover واقع. وإما أدلة عملية. But the second type is practical references that we have. أصول عملية, practical principles which تحدد الوظيفة العملية, that define practical duty للشاك الذي لا يعلم بالحكم, for the person who is in doubt, doesn't know the ruling. For example, You don't know, is this haram or not? There is no authentic hadith, there is no tawatur, there is no ijma, there is nothing in Quran about this. So what should you do? In the end of the day, you have to do something. So we have those 4 practical principles that help us when we are in doubt. ويمكن القول على العموم بأن كل واقعة يعالج الفقيه حكمها يوجد فيها دليل من القسم الثاني. He says we can say it in this way. In general, we can say it in this way. For everything, we have حكم ظاهري with the help of أصول عملية. Yeah? Every action that you need guidance for, every voluntary action, every amali ikhtiyari, you need guidance, you need to know, should I do it, shouldn't I do it? For every action, we have usul amaliyah. But we go to usul amaliyah if before that we have not found adille muhraza. Yes? So, although maybe you think you have doubt, but that doubt is not a real doubt unless you have checked the resources. If you find a reliable hadith, if you find ijma, anything that is accepted, which leads to qat' certainty, or adhannul mu'tabar, or valid one, a speculation, then you follow it. If there is no valid evidence to discover al-hukm al-waqi'i, then we go to al-hukm al-zahiri, we go to usul amaliyya. So, يمكن القول على العموم, it is possible to say in a general way بأن كل واقعة يعالج الفقيه حكمها يوجد فيها دليل من القسم الثاني. We can say for every واقعة means incident, for every incident that the jurist tries to treat, means to understand its ruling, there is a dalil from second type, عملية, أي أصل عملي يحدد, a practical principle which defines لغير العالم الوظيفة العملية. What does غير العالم mean? لا. No. غير العالم here means shock. Shock, the one who has doubt. Alim here doesn't mean a scholar, because we are talking about faqih, yeah? So opposite is غير. Here we mean by غير العالم the one who doesn't know hukm, means shock. So there is a practical principle that defines for غير العالم, is for the one who doesn't know, he has doubt about ruling, defines for him الوظيفة العملية. غير العالم. The wazifa is for person, not for ilm or jahl. Wazifa is for alim or jahl. So for the person who is in doubt, who is not alim, there is a principle that helps him. فَإِن, yes. Pardon? Maybe doesn't have certainty, but has dhann mu'tabar. So even that is considered, yes, both of them. فَإِن تَوَفَّرَ لِلْفَقِهِ الْحُصُولُ عَلَى دَلِيلٍ مُحْرِزٍ. So for everything, don't worry. we have asla amali. But before we go to asla amali, if faqih tawaffara lil faqih means it is available for faqih, it's possible for faqih to find dalil muhraz, a reference, a kind of evidence which helps to understand hukm waqi'i, akhadha bihi wa taraka al-asl al-amali. Faqih would take that dalil and leaves practical principle. Why? Because there is such a general rule that whenever you have dalil muhraz, you don't go for asla amali. Al-adillatul muhraza muqaddamatun ala al-usul al-amaliyya. Yeah? Because usul al-amaliyya is when I have doubt. If I have adillah muhraza, I have no doubt. فإن توفر للفقيه الحصول على دليل محرز أخذ به وترك الأصل العملي. If it is possible for him to have dalil muhraz, an evidence which helps him to understand hukm waqi'i, أخذ به, he takes it, وترك الأصل العملي, and leaves aside practical principle, وفقا لقاعدة تقدم الأدلة المحرزة على الأصول العملية, according to the rule, which is a general rule that says أدلة محرزة are preferred over أصول عملية. كما يأتي إن شاء الله تعالى في تعارض الأدلة. Inshallah, later also we discuss this when we discuss about conflict between dalils. وإن لم يتوفر دليل محرز. But if faqih doesn't have dalil muhraz, أخذ بالأصل العملي. Okay? For example, there is some water here. Okay? If I don't know whether it is tahir or najis, I can say it is tahir. Okay? But if there is an authentic hadith that says this water is najis because it is touched by, for example, najis, then there is no chance for me to say kullu shay'in tahir hatta ta'lamun, because I know it is najis. You understand? So when there is a way to establish najasa or tahara, there is no chance for going to usul amaliyah. Usul amaliyah for the person who has tried everything but has not been able to understand. Okay? فهو المرجع العام للفقيه حيث لا يوجد دليل محرز. So, asl amali is a general point of reference for faqih. Faqih goes to asl amali when حيث لا يوجد دليل محرز, when there is no dalil muhraz. Okay? Means dalil which helps you to understand hukm waqi'i. Means it's really trying to discover hukm, not to tell you what to do, what not to do in condition of doubt. You know, for example, sometimes there is a hadith that says, for example, nabiz is haram or not. Okay? Means the water, for example, in which raisin has been boiled. Maybe there is a hadith about this. If this hadith is authentic, the result is not hukm al-zahiri. The result is hukm al-waqi, because this hadith is telling me what is hukmullah. Hadith is correct or not, I understand it or not, that's another issue. But the hadith is for which purpose? to explain what is hukmullah about this issue. But sometimes I don't have any hadith or ayah or anything to establish hukmullah. I say to faqih, or faqih says, to shari', I have checked everything. What should I do? What should I say to my muqalladeen? Shari' says, if you don't have any way to establish something is haram, so it is halal. But as you see, this doesn't say really it is halal or haram. It's just to solve the practical issue. General. That can be haram in reality or can be halal in reality. But still we say, when you don't know, you assume it is halal. Usul amaliyah. Of course, if you know the previous condition, that's another issue. But as you remember, we said there are 4. Bara'at, ihtiyat, takhir, istishab. So, al-adillatul muhraza are those which try to help us discover hukm waqi'i. Al-adillatul amaliyah or usulul amaliyah are for the people who have doubt, who have shak about hukm waqi'i, and they need a practical guidance. تختلف الأدلة المحرزة عن الأصول العملية في أن تلك تكون أدلة ومستندا للفقيه بلحاظ كاشفيتها عن الواقع وإحرازها للحكم الشرعي. أدلة محرزة are different from أصول عملية, from practical principles in this point. We explain again. الأدلة المحرزات differ from أصول عملية في أن. This is the point which explains the difference. أن تلك تكون أدلة ومستندا للفقيه بلحاظ كاشفيتها عن الواقع وإحرازها للحكم الشرعي. الأدلة المحرزة تلك refers to الأدلة المحرزة. الأدلة المحرزة are adilla, they are references, they are evidence, and mustanad, they are the basis for faqih. Why? Because they discover and unveil waqi' بلحاظ كاشفيتها عن الواقع. They talk about reality, not that what you should do when you are in doubt. وإحرازها للحكم الشرعي. They secure, they help us discover حكم الشرعي. أما هذه refers to what? أصول عملية. Okay? Because he said al-adillatul muhraza and then he said usul amaliyah. So he used tilka to refer to ba'id, hadi to refer to qarib, because that is farther. أما هذه فتكون أدلة من الوجهة العملية فقط. The usul amaliyah, they are only helping us from practical dimension, practical perspective. بمعنى أنها تحدد كيف يتصرف الإنسان الذي لا يعرف الحكم الشرعي للواقع. In the sense that they define how a person who doesn't know the religious ruling for an incident should behave. How should you behave? It has nothing to do about your particular case. You can doubt about any juice. And we say, if you don't know whether it is halal or not, it's halal. It's not really saying this in waqi' is halal or haram. It's a general guideline that when you don't know and there is no background, no previous history, so you assume it is halal. What? لا الحكم الشرعي للواقعة. واقعة means incident. أما الحوادث الواقعة. Yeah. واقعة means incident. الحكم الشرعي, you don't know what is the religious ruling for this incident. So you need to know what's your practical duty. كما أن الأدلة المحرزة تختلف فيما بينها. Okay. We said there is a difference between al-adillah al-muhraza and usul amaliyah. Now, al-adillah al-muhraza themselves are also different. Why? Because some of them are qat'i, some of them are dhanni. لأن بعضها, because some of them, some of what? Al-muhraza. Some of them are adillatun qat'iyyah تؤدي إلى القطع بالحكم الشرعي وبعضها أدلة ظنية. Some of them are certain, decisive, they lead to certainty about religious ruling. And some of them are dhanni, speculative, means less than 100%, 60%, 70%, 80%. They are likely but not certain. تؤدي إلى كشف ناقص محتمل الخطأ عن الحكم الشرعي. عن الحكم الشرعي belongs to كشف. Okay, please be careful. عن الحكم الشرعي belongs to what? To كشف. These speculative reasons lead to discovery of religious ruling which is incomplete. This discovery is naqis, is muhtamalul khata, is likely to be mistaken. It's not 100%, but it is valid. As you remember, we said adhannu imma mu'tabarun or ghayru mu'tabar. Some of the zan is mu'tabar. Those which are mu'tabar means we have certainty about their validity, although the hadith itself doesn't lead to certainty. You know, is khabar wahid hujjah or not? Yes, certainly, but doesn't mean that we become 100% sure that the content is from Ma'soom. We are 100% sure that we can follow it, but we are not 100% sure that the content is from Ma'soom. Is following a qualified marja hujjah or not? Yes, 100%. But is the fatwa corresponding to hukm waqi? We don't know. But this is dhannul mu'tabar. This is a valid dhan because it is backed up by certain proof. وهذه الأدلة الظنية هي التي تسمى بالأمارات. Amara, not Imara. Amara. Imara comes from Amir. Imara means emirate, you know. Amara means sign. Amara. We call these type of evidence, this type of evidence, which is leading to dhann mu'tabar, we call them amara. Okay? Indicator or sign. So now you understood so far. Actually, it was also a kind of reminder. We have two types of dalil: al-adillatul muhraza, al-usul al-amaliyah. Al-adillatul muhraza by themselves also divided into two parts. Either they lead to yaqeen or they lead to dhann. But in both cases, they help us to discover hukm waqi'i. Okay? Both of them are hujjah. But one of them we are 100% sure about the content, about the result. One of them we are not 100% sure. Muhtamalul khata. Maybe it is mistaken. But we are sure that it's okay to follow it. Because it is approved by Shari'. Now we go to the next title, next section. المنهج على مسلك حق الطاعة. Later he says المنهج على مسلك قبح العقاب بلا بيان. If you remember last session we mentioned that Ayatollah Sadr rahmatullah alayh has a different position compared to other usuliyun. Usuliyun normally believe in قبح العقاب بلا بيان. This is very famous among usuliyun. قبح العقاب بلا بيان, which is indeed the basis of al-bara'atul aqliyah. They say intellectually, rationally, it's impossible that Shari' would ask us to do something for which we don't have knowledge. Shari' will not iqab, will not punish for something without explanation. If I have no knowledge, I am not responsible. This is the majority of ulama's view. Qubhul iqab. Qubh means it's not, it's ugly, it's not morally pleasant. Iqab means punishment, bila means without explanation. So, according to majority of usuliyun, when you don't know whether there is taklif or not, you are exempted. Ayatollah Sadr rahmatullah has another opinion. He says we must follow Mawla even if we are not sure. In other words, if you know what Mawla wants, you do it. If you don't know, but you still think that maybe Mawla wants this, still you have to do it. The only time you are exempted is when you are 100% sure that Mawla doesn't want this from you. Okay?
Would you call that cashwork? Would you call that cashwork? I'm sorry to say that. Would you call it cashwork? You're guessing. The Mawla wants it.
No, not. It's not a matter of guess. It's a matter of.
I'm sorry to ask.
Do you give preference to Mawla's right for obedience, حق الطاعة? So are we supposed to be so careful and so committed to obey Mawla that the fact that we are not sure but there is likelihood of taklif, we have to do it? Ayatollah Sadr says yes, because you cannot do anything to disagree with Mawla, to disobey Mawla. So if you are not sure that something is permitted, don't do it. It's like, for example, let me give you an example to simplify it. You go to a house. There can be two opinions. One is that you can do everything in this home unless you know that the owner, the house lord, is not happy. Do everything unless you know he is unhappy. The other opinion is don't do anything unless you know he is happy. This is the difference between Shaykh Saad and other ulama. Shaykh Saad says we have come to this world, everything belongs to God. We belong to God and everything we touch, it belongs to God. We must not do anything unless we are sure he is happy with.
So he's very much more severe.
Yes, so it's more precautious. Other ulama say we are free unless we know something is not permitted. Of course, this is on the level of aql, intellect. Otherwise, even Shaykh Sadr accepts that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't expect from us to do something unless we know. So al-bara'atu shar'iyya is agreed by all. You understand? But al-bara'atu al-aqliyya is not agreed by Shaykh Sadr. Al-bara'atu al-aqliyya. He says, if it was only me and there was no hadith, no ayah, I would not have dared to do anything which was 1% likely to be against the will of Mawla. Okay? But other people say, we know that our Mawla would not want anything from us unless he has clearly communicated to us. If he has not communicated to us, or he has communicated but has not reached us, Mawla would not want it from us. So even if I think 70%, 80%, maybe he wants, but still I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't need to do it. So there are two positions here. One is for Ayatollah Saad, which is called Maslaku Haqq al-Ta'ah. This is the school, the opinion which gives priority to Mawla's right for obedience. The other one is Maslaku Qubh al-Iqab bila bayan. Yes.
Say with Ayatollah Saad that in his view there wouldn't be very much mubah as an option, because I think he's saying either God wants you to do something or he doesn't want you to do something. There's nothing that can be left mutually possible. And he said there's no mubah according to his.
There is mubah, but mubah is when it is proved to be mubah. We have many things that Shara said it's mubah, but if you have no proof, you assume it is not mubah. It is if you don't have proof. Yes.
According to Sheikh,
Yes.
he didn't believe قبح العقاب بلا بيان.
No.
He didn't believe in
Aqlan. Shar'an, of course, he believes in Bara'at al-Shari'ah, but he says Aqlan, no, we don't have such a thing.
Is there an example of something you can give that's proven to be mubah by the Shari? Something that's proven to be mubah? Because the way I was thinking, it's not proven to be mustahab, it's not proven to be makruh, so people leave it as mubah. But can something be positively attributed to be mubah?
Yeah. Like many things that Shara says they are clean, they are tahir, they are halal. So it means that he has given us permission. Okay. المنهج على مسلك حق الطاعة. So first we want to follow the path of the people who follow حق الطاعة. Maslak, means road, path. Yeah. Here means attitude, approach. أعم الأصول العملية. The most general, practical principle بناء على مسلك حق الطاعة, according to the view of حق الطاعة, right of Mawla for obedience. أعم الأصول هو أصالة اشتغال الذمة, is primordiality of اشتغال الذمة. You remember this before, but I explain it again. We had قاعدة الاشتغال. الاشتغال اليقيني يقتضي الفراغ اليقيني. ذمة means neck. ذمة means neck. اشتغال means to be busy, to be engaged. This is used metaphorically for an obligation belonging to us. When we are under an obligation, okay? You say your dhimma is mashghul, your neck is busy, means like something has come on your neck and you have to do something to free yourself. For example, if I borrow from you money, now my dhimma is mashghul, I am mashghul of dhimma. Yeah? And sometimes people also in their conversations use this. For example, you come to my home and I offer you food, you don't eat. So some people who know this terminology, they say, you are mashghul of dhimma if you are hungry and don't eat. Of course, whether this has any fiqh basis or not, that's another issue. But basically it means that as a brother, as a sister, I have a right over you, and I would not forgive you unless you eat. If you are hungry, you have to eat. It's a mashghul al-dhimma. But very practical cases are when you borrow something, when you promise someone, when you have qadha salat, qadha prayer, when you have become mustati, have not gone to Hajj, your dhimma is mashghul. Or sometimes, for example, in fiqh, for example, there is a salat, we don't know whether it is ada or ghada. There are cases in salat ayat, or for example, for salat maghrib and isha after midnight, there are discussions. Sometimes fuqaha say that we don't know it is ada or ghada. You do the niyyah of ma fi dhimma. Pardon? Means what is in reality on my neck? Means what is my real duty? Is it wajib? Is it mustahab? Is it ada? Is it qadha? Okay? We say ma fi dhimma. Okay. So this is the meaning of dhimma. Okay? Pardon? Not to be free. Fi dhimma means it's not free. Means what is in my... what is it? My dhimma. You have to... Okay. Yes. So, according to maslaku haqq ta'a, according to the position position of Ayatollah Sa'd, the most general principle is ishtighalu dhimma, means we are all under taklif unless we can prove that we have delivered the job. Our dhimma is mashghul because we are servants of Mawla, and you cannot relax unless you are sure that you have delivered your job. Okay? وَهَذَا أَصْلٌ يَحْكُمُ بِهِ الْعَقْلِ. He says, this is a principle that is judged by aql. Aql indicates this. وَمُفَادُهُ أَنَّ كُلَّ تَكْلِيفٍ يُحْتَمَلُ وُجُودُهُ. Any obligation that it is likely to exist, its existence is likely, probable. وَلَمْ يَثْبُتْ إِذْنُ الشَّارِعِ فِي تَرْكِ التَّحَفُّظِ تُجَاهَهُ فَهُوَ مُنَجَّسٌ. Any obligation which it's likely to exist, and it is not established that the shara, the lawmaker, has given permission in not doing ihtiyat, in not being precautious. So if it's proved that you have permission, okay. But if there is a chance that taklif exists, and you don't have proof that you have permission not to do ihtiyat, you must do ihtiyat. So the only time you don't do ihtiyat is when you are sure that you don't need to do ihtiyat. You are sure that Shara has given you exemption. So if taklif is possible, is likely to exist, and you don't know you have exemption, you have to do ihtiyat. Because al-aslu ishtighalu dhimma. So that taklif is munajjas, that taklif is activated, is in effect. وَتَشْتَغِلُ بِهِ ذِمَّةُ الْمُكَلَّفِ. And the neck of mukallaf is busy with that. وَمَرَدُّ ذَلِكَ إِلَى مَا تَقَدَّمَ. It returns to what was said before. من أن حق الطاعة للمولى يشمل كل ما ينكشف من التكاليف. The right for obedience that Mawla has includes every taklif which is disclosed, every taklif which is discovered, whether it is discovered dhanniyan aw ihtimaliyan, either through A speculation means 60%, 70%, more than 50, or less than 50. Even if there is a small ihtimal, a small chance, you have to be careful. No, ihtimal means probability, likelihood. Dhann means there is more than 50% chance. هذا الأصل هو المستند العام للفقيه. This principle is general, mustanad. Mustanad means basis, something that the faqih relies on. Like a foundation, but mostly like evidence for faqih. وَلَا يَرْفَعُ يَدَهُ عَنْهُ, and faqih would not leave it إلا في بعض الحالات التالية, except in some of these following conditions. Now, we discuss 4 conditions. Please understand these 4 conditions, because again, when we talk about maslak و قبح العقاب بلا بيان, we come back to these 4 conditions. 3 of them are here. The next Rabi is in page 187. So, please consider these conditions. First, one possible condition is that we have certain decisive dalil that there is no taklif. So here, according to Ayatollah Saad, you don't need to do ihtiyat, because that was when you had doubt, either more than 50% or less than 50%. But if you are sure that there is no taklif, so you don't need to do ihtiyat. أولا إذا حصل له دليل محرز قطعي على نفي التكليف. When there is dalil muhriz that there is no taklif, كان القطع معذرا بحكم العقل. That قطع is mu'adhir according to the judgment of aql. Mu'adhir means give you uzr. Gives you uzr means gives you excuse. Al-qat'u mu'adhirun means gives you excuse. If you follow your qat, you will not be challenged, questioned, objected, criticized. Even if that qat was not corresponding to reality, someone who has qat is excused. فَيَرْفَعُ يَدَهُ عَنْ أَصَالَةِ الْإِشْتِغَالِ. Faqih, in this condition, leaves أَصَالَةُ الْإِشْتِغَالِ. Why? Why?
Because he has dalil muhriz.
Because he has dalil muhriz, and dalil muhriz is also qat'i. Even if it was not qat'i, dalil al-muhriz is prior to asalatul ishtighal, because asalatul ishtighal is dalil amali. Okay? لا يبقى لها موضوع. No subject remains for ishtighal, because ishtighal is for whom? For the one who has doubt. Second condition, إذا حصل له دليل محرز قطعي على إثبات التكليف. If we have dalil muhriz, which is qat'i, which is certain, that there is taklif. Okay. This dalil is definitely not cancelling ihtiyat, not cancelling the right of Mawla for obedience, but the thing is that it's so strong that with this you don't need that much asalatul ishtighal. Tanajjuz remains, but really it's not because of asalatul ishtighal, because asalatul ishtighal is for someone who has no yaqeen. You understand? So although it matches asalatul ishtighal, but we really, in such case, don't follow asalatul ishtighal. We follow ad-dalil al-muhriz, which is proving taklif. إذا حصل له دليل محرز قطعي على إثبات التكليف فالتنجز يظل على حاله. Tanajjuz, to be effective, remains as it is. It doesn't cancel it, but you must know that this is more than اشتغال. لكنه يكون بدرجة أقوى وأشد كما تقدم, as we said before, because more than احتمال. So do you understand so far? So if you have dalil muhraz qat'i against taklif, you follow it. If you have it in favor of taklif, you follow it, although it matches ishtighal, but it is much more than ishtighal. Ishtighal is for the person who has doubt, but here you are sure that you have taklif. Okay? Even someone who is not like Ayatollah Sa'ad and who doesn't believe in maslak haqq ta'ah, in this case he says you have to do ihtiyat, you have to do the taklif. Okay, clear? ثالثا إذا لم يتوفر له القطع بالتكليف. The third option is, the third condition is, the third hala is that when he has no certainty about taklif, neither to reject nor to affirm. Because first you knew there is no taklif. Second was that you know that there is taklif. Third is you don't know any side. Means there is possibility. Okay? So here you have doubt. Here you don't have dalil muhriz. Here you don't know hukm waqi'i. Okay. So please remember, we are talking about someone who doesn't know hukm waqi'i, doesn't have any decisive proof. If there is permission from Shari', لكن حصل له القطع بترخيص ظاهري من الشارع في ترك التحفظ. في ترك التحفظ belongs to ترخيص. He has yaqeen that Shari' has given him permission. Of course, this permission is zahiri. It's not waqi'i. Maybe in reality it was not mubah. Maybe in reality it was not halal. But now zahiran, for me it is permitted. فحيث أن منجزية الاحتمال والظن معلقة على عدم ثبوت إذن من هذا القبيل كما تقدم. We said, if you don't have any way to secure permission of Mawla, you should not do it. But now you know that Mawla has permitted. So no need for ihtiyat. Do you understand? Mawla has permitted, even if it is zahiri. For example, you go to a house, according to Shaykh Sa'ad, you don't do anything unless you are sure that the house lord is happy. Okay? Unless you are sure he's happy. So if there is doubt, you don't do it. Question. If I know that he is happy to do something, no problem. If I know he is not happy, no problem. Again, don't do it. If I don't know he is happy or not, but in the past he had said he is happy, so I do istishab. So now I am in doubt, but I have tarkhis. But this tarkhis is zahiri. because I'm not sure he is now happy. This is zahiri. Okay? I am establishing my practical duty right now. Istis'a, for example, is tarkhis zahiri.
Can you tell me once, just remind what is tarkhis?
Tarkhis means exemption, to give you a leave, a kind of permission. From rukhsa. Have you heard rukhsa? Yes. So tarkhis means to give rukhsa. You're welcome. فحيث أن منجزية الاحتمال والظن معلقة على عدم ثبوت إذن من هذا القبيل كما تقدم, because likelihood and probability, they can only activate taklif if there is no permission, as we said before. Now with establishing the permission, لا منجزية, so taklif is not activated. فيرفع يده عن أصالة الاشتغال. So faqih leaves أصالة الاشتغال because he has tarkhis zahiri. Okay? وهذا الإذ. How can you have tarkhis? Sometimes you have tarkhis because you have amara. Sometimes you have tarkhis because you have asla amali, which gives you tarkhis. Amara is tarkhis, but because it's not qat'i, it is not 100%. But still is good. For example, there is khabar wahid which tells you this is okay. Or there is bayina, two people bear witness that this case is like this. It's tarkhis. Sometimes there is asla amali, like istishab. هذا الإذن, this permission, this tarkhis, تارة يثبت بجعل الشارع الحجية للأمارة. It is sometimes established by the lawmaker making amara hujjah. What is amara? We just said today. Amara is that dalil muhriz which is not qat'i. Ad-dalil al-muhriz ghayr al-qat'i is not certain, it's not 100%. For example, كما إذا أخبر الثقة المظنون الصدق, when a reliable person whose truth and truthfulness is very likely, is maznun. We cannot say 100%, but he's a reliable person 100%. Even a reliable person can make mistake. Even a reliable person, maybe now shaitan deceives him, but he's a reliable person, and what he says is a dhann mu'tabar. إذا أخبر الثقة المظنون الصدق بعدم الوجوب, when he informs us that this is not wajib, he says, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said this is not wajib, I have no yaqeen, but I know that I can follow qawl al-thiqah because khabar al-wahid is hujjah. Shari has said saddiq al-thiqah, confirm, accept from a person who is reliable, who is truthful, who is honest. So then I don't need to do ihtiyat because he has told me there is no taklif, there is no wujub. Okay? So this is one type of permission that Shari can give in the form of amara. Wa ukhra, another type, yathbutu al-idhn. Huwa refers to idhn. Yathbutu al-idhn bija'l al-shari' لأصل عمليا من قبله. Sometimes knowledge is proved by shari' legislating a practical principle from his side. كأصالة الحل الشرعية القائلة كل شيء حلال حتى تعلم أنه حرام. Like asalatul hil, which is a religious ruling, it's not ugly, and says everything is halal unless you know it is haram. So as long as it is not proved to be haram, you assume it is halal. Or al-bara'atu al-shar'iyyah, which says رفع ما لا يعلمون. You know the hadith of Raf, رفع عن أمتي تسعة. One of those 9 things is ما لا يعلمون, what they don't know. So there are 2 cases, 2 possibilities. One is to have amara, which gives permission and idhn. One is to have asl amali, which gives permission. قد تقدم الفرق بين الأمارة والأصل العملي. We said what's the difference. The fourth type, الحالة الرابعة, the 4th condition. إذا لم يتوفر له القطع بالتكليف لا نفيا ولا إثباتا. Okay, so this is like number 3. Because in number 1, taklif was definitely rejected. I repeat this because these 4, we need them again and again. What was number 4? حصل له دليل محرز قطعي على نفي التكليف. Taklif was definitely removed. Number 2, حصل له دليل محرز قطعي على إثبات التكليف. Number 2, definitely there is taklif. Number 3, taklif was not proved definitely, was not rejected definitely, but we had tarkhis zahiri. We are not sure, but either we have amara or asl amali, which says you don't need to do ihtiyat. Now, number 4 and number 3 are the same in the sense that both of them are not number 1 and number 2. Yeah? So, you don't know there is taklif and you don't know that there is no taklif. It means that you have no yaqeen about taklif and you have no yaqeen about not having taklif. Okay? لم يتوفر له القطع بالتكليف لا نفيا ولا إثباتا. He has no certainty about existence of taklif or certainty about non-existence of taklif. But the difference between this and number 3 is this. لكن حصل له القطع. He is certain that شارع لا يأذن في ترك التحفظ. Shara is not giving permission for not being precautious. Okay? He is certain that Shara is not happy to do bara'ah, is not happy to not be doing ihtiyat. You understand? It's quite opposite to number 3. Because in number 3, we had the idhn. We knew that Shara has permitted. Here, we know that Shara has not permitted. حصل له القطع بأن الشارع لا يأذن في ترك التحفظ. Shara is not giving permission to leave احتياط. فهذا يعني تحفظ means to be careful, to be precautious. فهذا يعني أن منجزية الاحتمال والظن تظل ثابتة. So here you have to do ihtiyat, means the validation and activation of taklif remains. It's like ishtighal, but more than ishtighal. Because as-salatul ishtighal was when we have doubt. Here, not only we have doubt, but we know that Shara has not permitted. Shara is not giving us permission to not to do ihtiyat. So it's much more stronger than a person who just doesn't know and Ayatollah says you have to do ihtiyat because of maslak haqq ta'ah. It's stronger than that because you know there is no permission. منجزية الاحتمال والظن تظل ثابتة but غير أنها آكد وأشد مما إذا كان الإذن محتملا. Here it activates taklif, but it's stronger compared to the condition that we were only thinking it's likely to have taklif. We said if there is likely that you have taklif, you have to do ihtiyat. Here we know that there is no permission not to do ihtiyat. هنا إذن تارة. Again here, number 4. We said you have certainty that there is no permission. Again, there are 2 types. Because this certainty about not having permission can be because of amara or can be because of asla amali. Remember we said permission can be with amara, like thiqa says it is halal. Permission. Thiqa says it's halal. Or amara. Asla amali says something is okay. Again here, permission is not there either because of amara. For example, thiqa says it is not halal. Or it's because of asla amali. تارة يثبت عدم الإذن من الشارع في ترك التحفظ. Sometimes non-existence of permission from Shara about not doing ihtiyat. So Shara has not given permission to stop ihtiyat, and it is established how بجعل الشارع الحجية للأمارة. Because there is an amara that Shara has made it valid, and that says to me, you cannot ignore taklif. إذا أخبر الثقة المذنون الصدق بالوجوب. خبر واحد says it is wajib. In number 3, we said أخبر الثقة المذنون الصدق بعدم الوجوب. If khabar wahid says it is not wajib, okay, I have permission, I have tarkhis from Shara. If khabar wahid says it is wajib, then I cannot be careless. فقال الشارع لا ينبغي التشكيك فيما يخبر به الثقة. Shara has said you cannot doubt what thiqa is telling you. And thiqa is, it is wajib. So Shara says, listen to the thiqa, and thiqa says it is wajib. So can I ignore it? No. أو قال فيه صدق الثقة. Either he says لا ينبغي التشكيك, or he says صدق الثقة, means confirm him. So this is amara. So adamul idhn is sometimes established through amara, like khabar wahid, wa ukhra يثبت بجعل الشارع لأصل عملي من قبله. Sometimes Shara himself makes a practical principle كأصالة الاحتياط الشرعية, like أصالة الاحتياط الشرعي. أصالة الاحتياط الشرعي means something that we have taken from Shara, not from aql, from Quran or Hadith. And you know, أصالة الاحتياط is only in some conditions, because Shara gives us bara'ah, gives us takhir, gives us istishab, but also sometimes we have to do ihtiyat. And that is when you know there is taklif, for example, and you don't know which one, if it is possible. For example, you know you must do Salatul Zuhr, and you don't know it's Jum'ah or Zuhr. In the time of Ghaiba, you have to do both. Okay? You know that you have to do 4 rakah salat when you are not musafir. and 2 rak'ah when you are musafir. But now you don't know whether technically you are musafir or not. You do jam'ah, for example. So there are cases that we have to do ihtiyat in Sharia. So there are 4 types that we don't follow asalatul ishtighal because we know our taklif. But practically, it may mean that we do ihtiyat or we don't do ihtiyat. If we do ihtiyat, it's more than ihtiyat, which is because of ishtighal. It's stronger. So first, you have yaqeen, you have dalilul muhrizul qat'i, that there is no taklif. Okay, follow it. Second, you have dalilul muhrizul qat'i, that there is taklif. Follow it. Third, there is no dalil qat'i, whether it is for taklif or adam taklif. There is no dalil qat'i, so we have to follow izn of Shari. Sometimes we know Shari has given izn, is number 3. Sometimes we know that Shari has not given izn, is number 4. Izn, permission, izn. It's like ozon, but it's izn, permission. Like we say izn dukhul. When we want to enter haram, we ask for permission, izn. Or we say iznul walid, walidain, permission. Okay, I think I stop here because I don't want to make it too complicated for you. It's the first session after the holidays. But please do mubahasa and read and advance the next few pages because it's easy. Just the only thing is that he repeats these 4 conditions based on maslak qubh al-iqab bila bayan. According to the opinion of majority of ulama who don't believe in ihtiyat aqli, they believe in bara'at aqli. So we will inshallah discuss it inshallah next session. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.